Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hi dear friends, we are back today with our book Living Spring by Emmanuel to Chico Xavier. Today we are going to talk about chapter 81, The Living Lamp. Nor do people light a lamp and then put it under a bushel. They put it on a lampstand so that it may shine light on everyone in the house. And this is by Jesus in Matthew 5 verses 15. Many believers interpret such words as these of the Master as an appeal to regular preaching and consequently deliver vehement sermons. Others believe that the Lord has imposed on them the obligation to violate their neighbors through a compulsory dissemination of the faith according to their own particular point of view. In fact, edifying sermons and fraternal assistance are indeed indispensable for spreading the divine benefit of faith. Without the word, the diffusion of knowledge is almost impossible. Without neighborly assistance, fraternity will never become a reality in this world. This assertion from Jesus goes even further, however. Let us reflect on the symbol of the lamp. It consumes power or fuel in order to give off light. Without the sacrifice of energy or oil, there is no light. For us here, the material for our maintenance is potential resource life. Our existence is a living lamp. It is lamentable mistake. It is a lamentable mistake to waste our energy without benefiting anyone, using them for our selfishness, vanity, or personal limitation. Let us put our potential at the disposal of our neighbor. No one should keep the advantage of the earthly experience solely to him or herself. Each spirit, temporarily incarnate in the human sphere, enjoy broad um, prerogative regarding spreading the good, if he or she perseveres in the practice of universal love. Therefore, preach the revelation of the Almighty, making them lovelier and more brilliant on your lips. Talk to your relatives and friends so that they may accept the imperishable truth. But do not forget that the living lamp of spiritual light is the perfect image of yourself. Transform your energies into redemptive goodness and understanding towards everyone, spreading the oil of your goodwill in selflessness, and sacrifice, and your life in Christ will really start to shine. Again, a beautiful chapter, The Living Lamp. Beloved friends, today Emmanuel is again coming to remind us to take note of our energy, of our words, of our action, of our thoughts, so that we can see if we are illuminating this light of Christ. And yes, we should always have words of encouragement, words of gospel, words of this good news. And if we live our lives to serve others, we know that it will be our normal way of being. If we live, if we walk, if we interpret or mimic Jesus, this is what we will do. He wasn't a person who had small talk. He was one, and if we look at the book, The Good News, or um, the other one, the Jesus in the Home, we will see when Jesus was in a setting of with the apostles in the house of Peter, you will see that every time that the apostles was busy talking, having small talk, Jesus would bring in a teaching so that bringing the conversation back to upliftment, to learning, to understanding. And this is the way that we should encourage ourselves. If we are part of a group, our friends, our family, what are we talking about? What is our main words and attitude? Is it light? Is it understanding for each other? And it is a good question to ask ourselves that where are we in this? Because it's so easy to get distracted and to talk negatively. And we know that we are co creators of God. And if we co create as a godly, as we came to do, we know that we will be positive, we will be joyful, we will be understanding, and not be in the mindset of um, bringing spiritism because we want people to become spiritists, but we will share the good news regardless of the other person's understanding, way of understanding it. And this is why understanding each other, even as spiritists, is so much important because we are not on the same level, even though we are also spiritists together, because everyone is on their own evolutional evolution path, and um, but we can learn together, and this is what we do here on Kardec Radio, is that we can learn together. We do all these beautiful books together, which inspire each and every one of us, so that we can everyone can give their ideas and opinions together of this beautiful teaching from the High Spirit. Let's see what Emmanuel was trying to tell us here. He says this assertion by Jesus goes even further than just the preaching of the good news. He says, let us reflect on the symbol of the Lamb, and he gives us as an example. It consumes power of fuel in order to give us of life. And in the next line, he says, without the sacrifice of energy or oil, there is no life. For us here, the material for our maintenance is potential, resource, and life, which means that this life, this incarnation on earth, is our opportunity. This is our energy and our oil, so that we can have an opportunity to spread the good news to others, to be of fraternal assistance, to serve. Our existence is a living lamp. This is beautiful to think about, that we are here, we are still incarnated, but our essence and our true existence is to say that God is there because I'm alive. Even though if I'm a spirit, in the spiritual world. I'm alive. I have life. I exist. That is our light because we are the light, the creation of God. It is a lamentable mistake. Lamentable, yes. A lamentable mistake to waste our energies without benefiting anyone, using them for our own selfishness, vanity, and personal limitation. If we think about what are our main thoughts daily, if we think while you are at work, or you're upset because you have to work and you maybe are in a mindset of tiredness, or are we thankful to be of service in all circumstances where God has put us to serve? Because nothing in our life, beloved friends, are without the God that has put something there for us so that we can evolve. Doesn't matter where we are. If you have a certain job, it is because God has put you there to be an inspiration so that maybe you can learn humility because you have a boss that is maybe not there yet, but to be humble, to be dedicated, to know that we should, in everything we do, we should serve God, that we serve God. If you do the washing, if you do the dishes, if you are sweeping, everything we do, we have to be in a mindset of serving God. And then we will be joyful. We will serve not only our fellow humans, but everything that is around us. It is a lamentable mistake, sorry. Let us put our potential at the disposal of our neighbor. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Of our neighbor. Our potential. What is your potential and my potential, beloved friends? This is to know ourselves. So, in a good way, so that we can know what is our best attribute. Do you know yourself? Are you a good speaker? Are you, and what is it that you are good at? And we should use that to help others. None, no one should keep the advantages of the earthly experiences solely to him or herself. We can't just study and learn and maybe get good in something without sharing it with others. We should know that when we learn something, we would want to help others in it because then you feel useful and then we are useful. So this is why it is if we have a certain talent, it is good to go out and share it with others. Share our talents and not bury bury it in the ground. Therefore preach the revelation of the Almighty, making them lovelier and more brilliant on your lips. Let's do this small exercise. I want you to put your hand on your heart and I want you to say the word love and feel the energy come out of your mouth. And if we can put our hands on our hearts, this energy that we can feel, the way that the words makes us feel. This is why it is easy, especially for small children, to let them understand how does a word feel when they are still learning and sometimes at school they can hear something they don't understand. is to help them to always listen to it and feel the way this word feels in your body. If we can recognize this energy coming out of our mouth, which we know is this ectoplasma that affects all beings, this is our way of co-creating the energy that comes out of us. So if we can be more mindful of not only our thoughts, but the energy, the way, because you can say something and not feel it. And this is all the feeling. We know that we are being told by the spirits that it is in the feeling. To feel this love coming out, this assistance coming out of us. Talk to your relatives and friends so that they may accept the imperishable truth. But do not forget that the living lamp of spiritual life is the perfect image of yourself. Lord friends, the image of ourselves is this image of God. It is this light where in this love where people can feel God, where they can feel Jesus in this light that comes out of us. Because it is not us that is doing the work, but we are only the instrument so that the light and love of God can come through us, so that we can be fraternal towards one another, so that we can be understanding. Transform your energy into redemptive goodness and understanding towards everyone, spending the oil of your goodwill. And there Emmanuel says, our oil of goodwill and selflessness and sacrifice and your life in Christ will really start to shine. So let's be the light in this day. Let's focus on what are we emitting. We know in chapter 10, I think, of the book Foreign Life, Emmanuel, Foreign Life, beautiful book. It is a book that I have at my bedside everywhere in the house. I just love this book. But in chapter 10 of Foreign Life, Emmanuel says, what do we admit? And it's in chapter Understanding, if I am correct. So, but what are we giving out? And it's in the same chapter he says that we should seek the good, more the good. So please go read it, so that we can focus on only good, because there is good in everything and in everyone, because God is in everything and in everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today, beloved friends, and let our light shine so that the world can see that there is hope. There will be peace because we know, even though whatever is happening on earth at the moment, that we are on our way to a peaceful world. And in the Spirits magazine, I want to share this with you before we go. I'm sorry. In the Spirits magazine, I think, I don't know which one it is now, sorry. But there is a chapter, there is an article about Venus, and it's beautifully explained by Chico Xavier through Emmanuel. And if we go read that chapter, we would not see that they explain Venus, Venus is also the morning star, the night star, which I see as a promise of a earth to come. And we know that we will get there because the earth is in transformation. But we also are here to serve and to help, through every thought and through everything we do, but we should visualize this earth in peace. We should visualize each and every soul in peace and being taken care of. And we should trust in God most of all. So if we trust and if we have faith in this road that is allowed by God, we know that all will be well with us all. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next week, thank you.